In the summer of 2021, I began working at a boatyard in Arnold, Maryland. I had no experience with boats, but the owner, Alan, allowed me to absorb and to observe all that I could. In a boatyard littered with forgotten adventures and abandoned ships, I learned that a boat needs more than water to keep afloat. I also discovered a community of people who, through the boatyard, were able to find a home and build connections. This is part of their story.
I was born a young child at a fairly early point in my life. Started full time in 1977, June 13th, my birthday. Just happened to be my birthday. I left school, got packed up on a Saturday, got home Saturday afternoon, took Sunday off, started Monday morning on my birthday. Yep. Pretty much my whole life. My dad built boats, and I'd help him, you know. As a little kid, 5, 6, 7 years old. My first job was untangling an anchor line. It was just a big tangled mess. And I was looking at him, and he was messing with it. He said, "Here, you do this." and then also, I'd sand on stuff. It was a nice way to get together with Dad, especially after my parents divorced. It's kind of like why this place is special here, this boatyard. It's not just a business, it's a home.
As surprising as that may sound, the boatyard was a home, and over the years, Alan has had many people live on their boats while moored at the boatyard.
If somebody said from the FBI, and I wanted some insight on people that live on boats, what is your average guy, what's your average person that lives on a boat? I would say they're a single male in their late 50s, early 60s, without a lot of options, looking for an inexpensive place to live. It is neat to live on a boat. It's difficult, more difficult than you'd think. It's a tiny little space, heating. Boats are not made for the winter. They're not really cool in the summer. They're hard to heat, hard to air condition. And the weather, you get affected by the weather. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful times though too. But yeah. But most are single men. Of course, JT. He's by choice living on a boat. He loves his boat.
I bought my boat in 80 and moved aboard in 81. It seems like renting an apartment's a bad idea. I mean, as a long-term investment, it's not very good.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really afford to buy a house. And so a boat was a logical choice, as much as buying a boat can be. Everything you do is harder. If you go to the grocery store, it's harder. If you go to do laundry, it's harder. If you go to your boat, it's harder. So when I went to move on the boat, I thought of all the problems, and then I decided, well, I'll try it. And I hadn't allowed for all the advantages which make it all worth it. It's the privacy and the motion. It doesn't just sit there like the picnic table.
While some people may have made the boatyard their home, others made Alan and his crew family.
Didn't know Henry's story much, but just a bright kid, just amazing smile, interest, just a spark of life. I asked for a job at like 11 or 12. I said, well, maybe a little later. So anyhow, but Henry came and worked a few years. Always welcome back. Great to see him. And Been a lot of kids like that.
I'm Henry Ponder. Started working here as a teenager, currently active duty in the United States Navy. Working down in Newport News shipyard. I used to come down here all the time. I had a friend that lived across the creek, and it's a lot quicker to kayak to my friend's house than it is to bike all the way around the peninsula. So I used to come down here and throw my kayak in, and the guys would always get concerned because they're seeing this like little kid just hop in the kayak, and they're like, well, am I liable for this? And so we struck up a friendship, and one thing led to another, and I said, hey, can I work here? And this was my first job, so. I did some admin work, helping in the office. I didn't know too much about it because I was a young teenager and I didn't really understand finance or budget or any of that. But I would help sort paperwork, cleaning boats, cleaning the area, or kind of clean out some of the stuff that wasn't needed in the shop. Working with the guys, you know, like, yeah, they are just like guys, you know. But they really do teach you. They make that personality. Like, yes, they put on the hat of, hey, I'm your boss and you need to go do this. But they also say, hey, let me show you how to do this. And they definitely taught me so many life skills in that aspect. And I mean, some of the guys, they took me out driving. I mentioned that I started working here when I was in high school. So along with my parents, these guys also taught me how to drive. So just the family here, I'd say, and knowing that I could ask them anything. Being able to ask an adult a question that I had that I didn't feel comfortable asking my family, you know, really helped me along with my journey.
Hidden among the neglected products and abandoned ships, I found a group of people who all shared a common love for boats and the adventure they promised. I came to the boatyard as a means to support my family and pay my bills, but through the people that called the boatyard home, I found that it takes more than water for a boat to float, and it takes more than land to make a home.